fan, standard fan, side panel, drive bay, power supply, side panel. Motherboard, cable, 8. Oh, that's interesting. Doesn't appear to be any this time. And there's mounting spots, but they don't mention any kind of radiator. Specifically call it anything for radiator installation. Huh. Very interesting. Alright, so this is going to go in like this. Let's go ahead and push this back out real quick. So we're going to kind of install it forward a little bit here. If we can. Okay, so it doesn't actually give you that much room for it. Yeah, that's not going to work. So need to figure out some way of mounting this. Because on the other case you had screw holes in this section here to install a radiator onto. This one you don't. What I was thinking of attempting to do was to, let's see, can we take out this top one? We might be able to. When we take out this top drive bay, we can fit it into there. And I think you can because there's screws everywhere around here. Yeah, so you probably can. Let's see. Maybe what I'll do is put the .240 down here, because there's room to do that. Well, there would have been. Maybe put the .240 up here and put the 140 down here. And then run the 240 from the MOSFETs to here. So we go CPU to 240 to MOSFETs to here, into the 140 into the GPU. Could do it that way. I'll have to see first if this does come off or not. I'm not sure if it will. So I'm looking at it. It looks like it's kind of fused into the top section here. It's one piece into this top part, but we'll see if it comes out or not. If it does, then we can go ahead with the original plan. We'll just use the well, even if we did that though, we still wouldn't have, because we'd have it forward like this, so we'd have one. That wouldn't work either, would it? I think we'll just have to go with the new way. So it's actually having not being able to do the fitting and stuff before you get all the parts. Let's go and put this back in. So I don't think this is going to be able to come off. I think this is fused into this. Taking this off, I'll just take this piece off. Which I mean we could do, because I'm only going to have one drive. A couple things. So I'm probably going to rework how these go. I'll probably route them out somewhere else. Maybe back to this one here. So let's go ahead and change that right now. I'm also thinking about the fan placement too. So 140 fans are going to be about as big as these. We're going to have this sitting here on top of those, which we're going to be pulling through and out. We're going to have the radiator sitting on top of that. That's this thing. I was afraid of that. So maybe we'll have to go this on the bottom. Will it fit even? No, that's still in the way. Wow, this is going to be annoying. Okay. So, let's see. I think we're going to put this in here. The other reason we're having this problem is I got these thick radiators. If I got the normal ones that are about half this size, it might not be an issue, but we got the thicker radiator, so it's going to be an issue. Where can I put this at that would work for this? Let's see. Maybe what we'll do is put this on the back on the outside. And that's unconventional as hell, but I might have to do that, then run the cable out and back in through here. So, well, we do it this way so we don't have so far to go. The cable, the tubing. Let's get the tubing here. So, let's say that we're coming out of the CPU. Well, let's see, we'll be coming out, out of that into the CPU into this, into the MOSFETs. That's a really long run. So we come out of here. So let's say this is coming from the CPU. Let's actually get the CPU in here. You don't need to worry about the backplate with the 2011 socket because the mounting connections are built right onto the actual board here. At least Asus does them right onto the board, so it's really nice. And now we won't tighten it down. Okay, so this is coming from here. This is going to be oriented like this. This will come out into here. And this will come back through. Of course, we're not going to use it like this. It's just for purposes of doing the sizing. This will come back through and into here, or rather up into here, and that'll come through into here, and then that'll work. We can still do it this way. So yeah, we'll just have to do some interesting creative thinking here. Just gonna hook this. And hook this. Well, that's why they put these grommets here, just so you can do this kind of stuff. I always wondered why anybody would run tubing outside of the case somewhere. Well, now I know why. It's because of these kind of situations. So that'll be fine. It'll work good. Let's go ahead and throw this in. Again, the fans are going to go on top. So when we come back to put the fans in, what'll happen is we'll have this here. You know, we should probably put this on the bottom now, because we're coming in through, so you think about this here. Yeah, we'll be coming in, we should probably come in here and come out here into this. No, I'm not really sure how that's going to work. We'll figure it out, though. It'll probably have to be a really tight bend or something. Hopefully it won't be too tight of a bend. That's why we're going to put this one in first. Just to check out that bend and make sure it's not too tight. Oh, that plug's over there, okay. I don't know why I didn't put it back in for. I guess I foresaw some issues. Or actually, the other way. Duh. Yeah, I'm going to untighten it. So kind of mangle these up a bit. Like I said, the barb things don't matter on these because they're not barb fittings. If they were, then that would be an issue. It's just a visual mess up right now. But like I said, I don't really. First build, not going for aesthetics. Not trying to make things look pretty. Want them to work. So I have to manhandle a couple of fittings. So be it. Of course, I'm making every water cooler like Singularity out there cringe. That's just how it goes. If I was making this for somebody else, I wouldn't have done all the. Yeah, I wouldn't do that kind of stuff, but I'm not, so yeah, I don't really care. Actually, we want the other ones, don't we? True. Okay. Finally getting some rain. Ugh, son of a biscuit eater. We've got two things that are magnetic, this and that other thing. They are a lifesaver in picking up screws. Okay. So I want to mount these as far back as possible. Of course, they're just going to kind of hang here for the moment. There's no fan stuck into. I'm going to essentially get all four corners. Screw them in a bit. Well, that's fine, I guess. Oh, these are the freaking hex. Damn. Okay, so that's a bit of epicness there. You don't want to go too tight on them because they're only made to go in so far. It's probably just to the threads go through. Yeah. Okay, on this side. Mounting positions aren't exactly good. are perfect. They could have made them a bit longer to fit a bit more diverse bit of hardware, but whatever. And there's just a lot of little things that are wrong with this case. But there's also a lot of things that are even more awesome than those problems. So I'm willing to give NZXT a slide with maybe a half a star off. In this case, the original Phantom was a 5-star case, for sure. I'm giving this one a 4.5 so far. Okay, that should be enough to hold it. So we can do some rudimentary fittings. Again, you're going to have all this space here that's not going to be there, so that's something to take into consideration when I'm doing the sizing here. Bring this in closer so I can, slam my foot into it like last night. Alright, so this is going to be up like this, and you got to figure out how to make this work. This is right against this. That might be an issue. I may just want to take that off entirely. Because there's not much, that really doesn't make up too much of a thing there. So, the problem with this cable right here is that it goes right over this. So we have to like run it like this down through here. This is to this one. Maybe we can figure out a different way to run it. So I'll stick it like right here for now. So I'm thinking is taking this down. See, these are the interior ones. These ones are for the 120s. The 240s are these, or the 140s are these interior ones, and the 200s are the exterior ones. There's not really, this isn't really very good mounting, is it? Well, no, we can go on top of here. No, we can't go on top of here with these. The main problem is, again, though, that we're going to have some pressure being diverted not equally here, because we're going to have this is here right in the center of this, and you see they could have moved these back a bit and moved this back, or these back, so they're centered on with this. I don't know why they didn't do that. And it's like a common sense kind of thing, you'd think, If we're going to have a fan placement for 2 fans here, this should be in the middle of both fans, not in the middle of one. So I'm going to knock a star off for that. Forget the half star. This is a 4-star case so far. The main issue, though, is clearance for the bottom here. That's my main problem right now. Because even with this up here, that's still a really tight squeeze there. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the let's grab this. How that's going to affect the MOSFET connection here. Because we're going to be like coming off of here and then down across here onto this. Actually, that might work. It might just work. It'll be a tight squeeze, but it might just work. The only problem I foresee is that we need to be able to get the compression fitting on the end of this. That might be where this breaks the camel's back at. No, it like barely gets there. Again, it's tight squeeze, hard to screw it in without getting all the extra room there. Okay, this goes up, this comes over and on to here. Yeah, it's going to be the hard part, it's making that turn. Let's flip it over on the side. Get a better angle of attack here. There's actually two LEDs. There's one down here and one up here. Cool. Just realized. They don't sit very securely in there though. But I can live with it. It's the first time I've seen a case that has that kind of LED stuff on it. Outside of Alienware. So this goes up here. Yeah, it's going to be a very tight bend here. This tubing should be able to handle it though. I don't see any kinks. No bends. Maybe a little kinking against this. Fitting. No, I think it's good. I think it's going to be really tight though. But I don't feel any kinking. I think that's just enough length to not kink. And then we also get the 8-pin through there as well. So that's going to work. It's going to be a really tight fit, but it's going to work. Cool. Okay, just go ahead and unhook this. I don't want to hook that on until we get the fans here to... So we might not be able to leak test it today, or maybe we'll use one fan to hold it up there. We do have that 140, don't we? Yeah, we can do that, I guess. Let's do that. We have this 140. So if I want to leak test it today, we have to have... That's going to come down a little bit hard. We have to have the fan there to have the actual positioning. Let's see, so I think down is where we want to go. That's the blowing air in mode. I think we got it on there. Do a couple of twists to tighten it down. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Alright, and do this corner here. I think that should be enough to hold it up if we tighten it down. I don't think we're in the hole here yet. I don't think it works, but I don't think it's quite the right size. Yeah, here we go. That's the one I want. Okay, that should hold it up enough for testing here. Oh wow, that's really the right size. Ugh. Okay. Ow. Damn. Okay, let's get a compression fitting on this end. Okay. It's a little, moving it a little bit, but that's to be expected. It's really tight fit. Alright, next question is for the fan that's going to be on the inside here. Oh, this is is this way thicker than this? Oh, it is, okay. I don't have a 140, oh, I guess, is this no, it's a 200, right? Yeah. So, let's see, it's gonna, let's measure with some tubing here. Let's see, cutter. Just a little bit more off the top. That's pretty good. We'll leave that for a little extra bit of insurance. So now the length of it. That's too small. Let's see. It's about like right here at the end, like right at the edge of this text. That's the height, length, whatever. So mounting screw. So okay. Like right here and here. We could run into maybe a little issue there. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just run the fan out there too. We'll push through that as well, like that. Maybe, I'm not sure. Again, we'll have to see once we get the fans in, how that'll work out. But this is how we're going to go, barring how the fan goes here on the outside, so that's not going to affect where the outer radiator is going to be at. This will still work the way we had envisioned it. We won't do anything with this. That's fine. So let's go ahead and get this radiator on the outside here. So I'll probably also then bolt to the bottom instead of the front part here like we had before. So it'll make more sense. I want to make sure we have the least amount of hose used possible. Shortest run as possible. I have to save that one. Let's see, grab this. And upstairs, right now upstairs I'm rendering out the final version of the, the review version of the new channel trailer video in After Effects. Figure while I wait, I'd come down here and work on this. Okay. Bottom. You see some of the paint starting to come off of there. Having to change all these around so much. This case is not too water cooling friendly. It's got a lot of space, but the options are limited for custom loops that use two radiators and thick ones. Like these are normal size radiators, you know, like this, it wouldn't have been a problem, but I tried to go with the thicker ones for a little bit more cooling surface, and that's where the problem lies. Of course, there's even thicker radiators than these. I think there's 2 other sizes. So there's some really thick radiators out there that Alphacool makes. They call them the monsters. They're like massive. I think they're like twice the size of this in terms of the depth. So they're monsters. I should get these 2. Alright, this is good. I'll put these on the bottom. Good. Make sure I get these ones one more time. Good, okay. Now, I'll switch back over to the hex screw bit here. And we got our 3 screws for this. So we're just going to be going straight into the... We'll have to go through this side. At least that's how what the plan is for now. That may change, may go the other direction, depending on the fan on the internal side here. So, that's going to be interesting. The unforeseen consequences. Maybe we'll go all the way down lower then. Just hold it there for now while I deal with this tubing here we'll have to take out. I wonder if we could do a longer bit, if it wouldn't be quite as messed up. So I like the amount of pressure it's putting onto the pipe, onto the tubing, and onto the MOSFET as well. MOSFET block. It's a little too much pressure on it. Let me do what I was saying. Go from here to here, and then this will come down this way, out into here. Let's see, tubing. You always want to take a little bit more than what you actually need at first. Then you can trim it down as you need to. Actually, that might be just right. It's not too tight. It's not doing all that stuff that was before. Of course, we really won't be able to really tell until we get the compression bits on there. So that's what puts the pressure on. Let's go see. I'll be right back. Let's see who's calling. Alright, so let's see what I got going here. It definitely doesn't feel as tight. Still a little kind of wobbly, but I like it. It's still better. You know what the problem is? I'm just looking at this. I was thinking, is it the... It's a really tight bend, though. There's not really much you can do about it. Plus, it's the distance that travels down then back up. That's the issue. If I get to go like this, that'd be nice. Or maybe if I had like a thing that would just come down here, do like a... I wonder if maybe we can do a male to male? No. That wouldn't work. It has to be male to male, then we have to have a female to female, then a male to stick into the female, and then go that way. So that'd be way more than what we need to do. This still seems to be hanging up pretty well. Except for this bottom twist tie just keeps coming off. Not off, it slips down. Probably should get it a bit up higher on the tubing than I did. That's literally the only tie point though I could go through. It's not like on this one. Well, I guess I could have gone through. No. Or is there a... No, there isn't. It's the nearest one's... I guess I could have gone through here, I suppose. Maybe we should just do that. Let's go ahead and undo this. Okay. The reason I didn't is because all this stuff's in the way. It's like, how can I do this? Especially don't want to go too much either. If you get too much, you're liable to like snap it or make it weaker to the point to where it will snap. I think I'll do a little bit more tightening down on this one too. There, that should be good. Alright, so a quick fix and that'll be a little more stable. Okay, so let's see. So I got, I think this is about 6 feet of tubing. I'd say 5 feet, maybe 4.5. So still way more than what we'd ever need. Alright, so now we need to figure out the tubing situation from... I will need to redo the CPU tubing because that's CPU to GPU because we use that for the other thing. Okay, inlet. Which is going to be from GPU. I'm gonna make sure we get this one pretty good this time. No, just about. So this one's gonna be the actual one we're gonna use. Again, though, a little bit more off the top than we need, just to be sure. And this is pretty much where it's gonna be at. I mean, it'll go down a little bit more. That's about where it's gonna be at, though. I'll get the CPU today, and we can do the final fitting for this. So this will be about here. Again, we'll have a little bit to cut off if we need to. And now we need to do the fitting the sizing for out to here. Alright, so Again, we want to try and use the shortest run as possible. But I also don't want to put too much pressure onto the CPU though. Just right about here, we'll say. We'll get a little bit more extras to make sure we get enough. Then we need to do a run from this into this radiator up here. And yeah, we took out the grommet. That's always fun. Well, I'll leave it off for now. I'll deal with it later. I think this is the last one we need to do, so. Okay. Now I guess we do have one more run, that's to go to the filling port. Okay, and there's a lot extra on this. And a lot extra. Just to give myself a little bit more room to work with there. Alright, let's go ahead and untube some of this tubing. So you put all the tubing in, we're going to have everything, so we're going to have this sitting on the side so it's not so crazy to work with. Plus everything will be kind of tamped down a bit more than it is now, so it'll be a lot easier to work with too. Okay. The CPU out of here. So I think that's pretty much all the tube runs that we have to account for here. And we got this much tubing left over, which is, you know, oddly enough, just enough for this run for the. That's nice. Okay, cool. There they are over there. Okay, and then this one will run into the top of the radiator here, or top of the reservoir. And these are supposed to be like that because they're double jointed in like 5 places, so it's really flexible like that. And this can just come right off when we're not using it for something. So it's like that, and boom, there you go. Or I could even maybe do something like, yeah, some custom thing somewhere, make like a grommet that'll just run this through and it'll sit there like that and can fill it whenever. Yeah. Now if this was smaller down here somewhere, we could run it right out through into here somewhere, just have it sit there, but that's not the case, so we can't. Yeah, that's how that's going to work. That's the problem with rotating pieces here. Try to unscrew one of the compression fittings. It just rotates. Okay, so now that's all done. Let's go ahead and well, I guess one thing left to do is just to wait for the CPU to come later. Actually, we can go and hook this in now. Probably put this grommet back in while we're at it too. These things are always fun to get back in. They're so annoying. These and the other ones for the cable management. There we go. Wish they were kind of glued in or something more secure, but they aren't. There's no use complaining about it. Let's go and thread this through the bottom here. Okay, there's that one. There's this one. And I'll just be like that. Again, we got the lower one, so it'll go down that way, just by gravity, and then when it's turned off, though, it'll go up this way. Although there may be a little bit of flowback because we have this here. Like I said, I'd like to have this be straight as possible, but at the same time, then we put a lot of pressure on this. I wish there was a port down here somewhere. That we just run the cable throughout to here. Now I think that dust tray comes all the way back through there. What do I do with that dust tray? As a matter of fact, I could use it to do some checking here. It's a good question. I don't know where it's at. Is this it? Oh, maybe this is it here. No, this is for the drive bay. So what happens when you build stuff? You move things around in an infinite number of times, and it's going to go. And then you have no clue where stuff is at. It's spread halfway across the world. I just did a nice Christopher Walker impression. Maybe not nice, but certainly Christopher Walken-like. There we go. Crap, that reminds me, I need to order the drive. Haven't done that yet. I'll do it on video so you can see it happen in action. Should be able to get it delivered by tomorrow. Although maybe a little bit too late. Might have to get it on Monday. We'll see. Actually, I stopped it instead of closing this out. Camera preview froze. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect from that entirely. No, I don't want that one. Cancel. Yeah, that one. My 5G network. Okay, so Bluray combo drive. Why isn't one click available on here? I'm not signed in. Maybe we should go to the full site. Ah, that's why. I wish frigging Apple would fix this Safari bug. Our buttons will stop working sometimes. Tuesday free, extra $4 for Monday. We'll do the $5. Alright, so we'll get that on Monday. Cool. And that's about when I'll be ready to actually start building things. Well, I don't know, it depends on when the fans get here. I'm going to stop recording for a second, and then I'm going to check the status on the fans and we'll see what happens. Plus, I guess, Mayhems, but that should be here probably not today, then by Monday for sure. Yeah, so probably sometime next week is when we'll get the fans. So let's see how this is gonna work now. Let's put the wrench in.